Hello and welcome to Intersection Safety Real Life Driving Part 2, where this time we'll be talking about how to deal with some visual obstructions when making left turns. Now, in the next section of this program, we'll be covering risk assessment, which is another huge part of driving. And since we're almost there, let's introduce some of that into this video as well. But before we start, I just want to remind you that, once again, just as I did in the last video, I've added these 3 red prop vehicles to work off as I film the shots from inside the vehicle, and I'll only be showing you these shots where the visual obstruction is, just for time's sake. Alrighty, let's get started. So I'm driving down the street and I see there's an intersection ahead. And as usual, once I reach the 3 vehicle length distance, I'll perform my sweeping scan, which allows me to see that there are no pedestrians on the corner. And then as I continue, I see this huge SUV who is parked as close to the intersection as legally allowed. So as soon as I see that parked SUV, I want to bring risk assessment into the picture to assess just how dangerous the situation is. So let's take a look at what I'm actually seeing from inside the vehicle, and we'll figure it out from there. So from inside the vehicle, I am able to see just a bit of the front end of red vehicle 1, but the rest of it is quite hidden behind the SUV. And then as I continue on, moving my head a little bit through the scan, I am able to see the second and third red vehicle with no problem. Okay, now let's assess the risk from what we just saw in that video. So there's no pedestrians to deal with, which is good. I do have visibility of the immediate area of the intersection where the white vehicle would be. Again, good. But most of the 1 vehicle length distance is lost behind the SUV, which is not good with a capital NG, because it is very close to the intersection. But I am able to see the second and third vehicle length distance, which is really good. Then add in the facts that I still have to do a quick scan and a my scan before I reach the intersection, so there are more opportunities for visibility. And my conclusion is, unless something changes, right now I would rate this potential danger as a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is absolute danger, only because the visual blockage is so close to the intersection. And just for information's sake, I would have given that large visual blockage in the last video a 6 out of 10. But now let's say that black SUV has been joined by a few friends, and now it's turned into a row of parked vehicles. So how are we going to rate that? So I think it's pretty safe to say that no matter what seeing habit I perform at what distance, I'm not seeing much. But there is something that will help me pick up the odd vision here and there, and this is what allows that vision. So as you can see, it's pretty easy for our eyes to pick out the contrasting colors. When you look at this picture, within a split second, your brain is telling you the cars are in 3 different colors. So when you go back to this row of parked vehicles, where the colors of the vehicles are in great contrast, you may be able to pick out the odd splash of red through a window or over the hood. Because of the difference, at least there is a slight chance of seeing bits and pieces of the vehicles driving by. But now here, where the vehicle passing by is closer to the color of the parked vehicle, your brain isn't going to decipher between the two, especially when you're in the process of driving down the street with every other thing fighting for your attention. So this is why I have you flipping through all these different types of seeing habits as you're driving down the street, performing the regular area scans and sweeping scans, scanning parked vehicles, etc. And then once an intersection enters the scene, you have the 3-2-1 seeing habits to kind of cement the deal, if you will. You might not see an issue, such as a vehicle about to run their stop sign at a 3 vehicle length distance or even the 2 vehicle length distance. but maybe by the one vehicle length distance, you might just see that vehicle, which would give you enough time to be able to stop before a collision could occur. And that's all I care about. Now, getting back to dealing with the row of parked vehicles, let's add some risk assessment and go from there. So there's no pedestrians, that's good. I have visibility of the immediate area just before the intersection where the white vehicle is, but that's not saying much. And I am turning, so my speed will need to slow quite a bit, so that's really good. Then I have the bad. No visibility from the one vehicle length onward, all the way along as far as I can see, which is bad. Plus, I don't have a stop sign, so no safety of the stop there, and put it all together, and it's all really bad. So unless something changes, like one of these parked vehicles leaves, right now I would rate this potential danger as a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. There can be anything happening behind any of these parked vehicles. So once I reach the one vehicle length distance from the intersection, and I see that I just don't have the sight line of 3 vehicle lengths in all directions that I need to have, well, I'm not entering the intersection until I do have that vision. So here's how I'll handle things. So, as always, the first thing on my list is good old speed control. Now, at this point, I've already slowed to my turning speed, so now I'll just continue braking so that I can be down to a slow crawling speed by the time I reach the intersection. And I mean all capitals crawl, like I'm racing a baby and I want it to win. And I'm going to add a handy little trick that I call the turtleneck method, which is where I lean my body forward as much as I possibly can, and I stretch my head as far forward as I possibly can, hence the name turtleneck. And when this is done properly, as I crawl forward super slow trying to get some vision, in the end, I'll be able to see the area to my left probably a good 3 feet sooner than I would have without using this method. And that's a big advantage. But a word of caution, watch that you don't fall into the trap of just concentrating on the visual obstruction to the left and nothing else. Remember, the golden rule is to never look at one area for more than 2 to 3 seconds at a time. So you're basically going to do a quick scan on a loop. So I'm trying to see to my left, 1 Mississippi 2. Then I glance ahead at the corner and I check traffic approaching. 1 Mississippi, you get the point. And then another quick scan to my left before my eyes are off again, glancing at the next corner and then off to my right. And after a quick rearview mirror scan, I'll start all over again, back to my left, and repeat. And finally, I will have crawled along far enough that I get my 3 vehicle length vision to my left, and I see that all is clear and safe to enter the intersection. So I get back on the gas pedal and start to accelerate, and I'll drive up to my turning point and start my turn. Okay, that's it. So hopefully this has given you a good idea of how to handle a really long visual obstruction that you just can't find your way around other than to turtleneck your way through. Now we're getting pretty close to the old ho-ho, which means it's time to take a little break for the holidays. So I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2025. I should be back around January 14th. Now, as usual, if you like this video, all it takes is a real quick reach up and hit that button to let me know I'm on the right track. And as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please support what we're doing here by hitting that button as well. Now, I'm working on a few surprise winter driving tip videos that I'm going to throw in here and there while I'm gone, so if you don't want to miss anything, hit that notification button. So until next time, ho ho, happy holidays, and take care. And if you have any specific questions you'd like me to answer regarding winter driving or any driving questions, you can send me an email at steps123utd@gmail.com anytime you wish.